It's Pub Sports MMA, Billy Briz DFS, and my main man, Millie Mills. It's Season 10, Week 1, Dana White Contender Series preview. How you doing, Millie Mills?
Man, so Dana White Contender Series, they're all about finding the next potential stars. And we're all about finding those next potential big bets. Parlays, profits, and underdogs. That's what we're here to give you, okay? We're trying to find these next rising potential stars, and we've been hitting them all, man. We've been covering the Dana White Contender Series like damn near since Season 1, so I can't wait to kick off this one.
Yeah, I know one of these guys were in the LFA street, so we're going to let you kick this one off. John Kunneman taking on Joe Kropschot here. What do you have for the Millie
Before
Mills
we get to
MMA
that,
grades?
man, there's a lot of fighters fighting on this card that, got called up from the LFA. We got some familiar fighters that you guys are going to be familiar with that, fought on last season's card, and some bangers and stuff, You got some CFFC champions, of course, you know what I mean, that's making their UFC debut in here. And don't worry, man, we got you guys with the odds, okay? A lot of people is like, where can I bet this? How can I bet this? We got you guys covered. Already look, man. Some of the guys that was like minus 140, they looking around minus 110 now. Money's coming in on the other side. We got you guys locked and loaded, man. So in this first fight, man, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off, man. Like young Scrappy was saying, man. Check it out, man. This fight right here, undefeated APFC champion versus the LFA champion. Alright, now, this matchup in the middleweight division is going to be at as advertised because John Kunneman, the man, all finishes 10 wins inside the distance, man, while Kropschot enters on a 4-fight winning streak. I know a lot about this guy. I broke him down in the MMA grades, man. A tough, durable, gritty fighter. Now, when you look at it, I think he has a good fight resume and fight IQ. I lost to Cody Brunage way back in the LFA, way back in the day, man. Not just that, fought other fighters like Orion Koski as well. So when you look at it, he got the upset in his last fight to become the LFA champion in the fight that I broke down. And he's going to have to use that tough, gritty style because he's a big underdog in here. And Kunneman, he goes out there trying to knock everybody out. I think Kropschot, man, can keep this one close, man. I think that he's going to be able to get the grappling exchanges, nice little dirty boxing, trips with the takedowns, pressure him, you know what I mean? Kunneman, he really hasn't been out that first round too many times. He does have big knockout ability. I think he's gonna come out there and try to get this one done in the first round. But if that first round doesn't come through, I'm looking at Joe Kropschot in here, man. Kunneman is one of the bigger favorites on the card, but I think the dog is live in here.
Yeah, Cumin, nickname AK-47 for a reason, wastes no time to get these fights started. Explosive hands, has good submission game, has variations of chokes that he can go to after putting on so much pressure and top control in fights. Questions about his cardio, though, as he's finished all of his pro fights in round one, but trains at Team Elevation in Colorado, so it might not be as a big of a concern as we might think it might be pre-flop. Went 1-1 as an amateur when fights goes the distance. Kropschot is a grappler himself, has been able to dust himself off after going 4-3 to start off his career, now in a 4-fight winning streak. Two of those losses against UFC alumni of Orion Koski and Cody Brundage. Has fought the higher level of competitions, but questions about his durability as all of his losses have been inside the distance. I think this fight set up for a first fight of the night finish. I like the under, and I like John Kunneman to win here by first round finish. I think it's going to be a submission.
First round finish and submission. Now, look at the odds. Do you believe that you could just parlay them and get like a solid two leg with that one, or what are you looking at as far as like betting it?
Yeah, the prediction was round one for a reason. I think if John Kunneman's going to win this fight, I'd probably play the round one or two prop here on FanDuel. I would probably just be leaning towards violence. I don't think this fight's going to last that long.
Let's go.
Second fight of the night here is going to be Mulumba versus Tommy Bags, as we call him. I was able to see Tommy Bags fight in his last fight in PFL Atlantic City. I mean, I think this kid's a true talent. Long, rangy striker, has deceiving power, great usage of kicks up the middle, and good in the clinch as well. The most important part, I feel like, of his last fight in Atlantic City was the fact that he left New England Cartel. You name the people he was training with, Mitch Raposo, fucking Calvin Gator and them boys. He moved out to Corey Sandhagen's gym out there in Colorado. I think that will not only improve his cardio, but his wrestling and his overall game alone, getting away from home. Mulumba, Dana White Contender Series fight in his last fight versus, or 2 fights ago versus Rikiki was worthy enough to get signed on the night, but as most refs would stop that fight, it's just that he comes out with a reckless abandon, has a little bit of wrestling upside, but at 5'7", I think he's going to have a hard time getting inside range without taking damage here. I kind of trust Tommy Bags to inflict more damage without getting caught like Kiki did. I think Tommy Pags here coming in here at plus money. This line's at minus 140, plus 100. Give me the dog here in Tommy Pags. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, he looked good, in that PFL fight against Turnbull, got that shit done first round, ain't got nothing to say about it. Now, when you look at some things that you like about him, I want to say it's going to be the way that he likes to jab, way that he likes to stick behind his 1-2, a real technical striker. You said that he left his gym, right? That's the thing. When you're leaving the New England cartel, man, yeah, good things are gonna happen, man, because ain't been going good for him lately, man. Now Balamba, man, he gave us one of the better performances out there in a fight that we thought Rikiki was about to get knocked out, and it didn't work, man. Now he's at minus 140. The thing that I like, 10-3. 100% finish rate, man. 5 KOs, 5 subs. He ain't wasting no time. Ain't never seen the judges. Now, I think he's going to be able to start behind his fence, Mike's little level takes, and get the wrestling going out there. I get it. That long frame for Tom is going to pay dividends. But then again, that could still be one of those weaknesses that Mulumba might be able to do and get the grappling going. I see it like this. If he can get the single legs out there and get this into like a wrestling match instead of keeping this on the feet, that's where he might shine. But he already got kind of finished, man, in that Dana White Contender Series fight, to where it just showed a little bit to where he can't stand up there and just bang with the best of them. So with that being said, I do think the Phenom is what they call him, and I think he's gonna have a phenomenal performance in this one.
Yeah, I think the biggest note is you got the fuck up out of New England cartel. Mitch Raposo being your best trading opponent to be a Corey Sandhagen. I think there's only bright things for the future here for Tommy Pags. Been on the regional scene for a long time. Big fight coming up here is Bilal Hassan taking on this Indian prospect, as we're going to say, Sakiti. This is kind of your type of range, Mills, because I know the Indian guy fought on road to UFC, hence why he's such a big underdog here.
Yeah, man. Don't get it twisted either, man. When it comes to Sakai, 9-1, 100% finish rate as well. Came on the road to this UFC, lost against Aguilan, I want to say in there. But this is a guy, man. He's gonna go out there and try to push forward with the pressure out there. Taking on a fighter like Bell. Hassan, everybody knows 8-0, 6 KOs, 1 sub, fast fighter, switch stance, powerful as a southpaw. He likes to attack the body, right? Now, everybody knows the skill sets of him is something that I rate highly because he's coming from the CFFC promotion. But the thing that people don't know about Sakai, man, he's a little bit good out there, man. He has a head kick he likes to throw, good power as well. He could throw combinations, and he has dangerous kicks, man. Not just a one-trick pony. 5 submissions in his 9 wins. So, man, when you talk about the betting odds, Hassan's like minus 2,000 out here, and he goes out there. The way that he strikes is nice, man. Kind of goes high, goes low. Nice little jab, nice little combinations too. When it comes down to one of the more polished prospects on the regional scenes, it's been his name, man. And I don't even know why we're even giving him a goddamn Dana White Contender Series like audition. He should just get signed into the UFC and just fight like lower level opponents instead of this. But yeah, man. This is one though, man, to where I'm not betting him at that big old chalky price tag or anything. If anything, you just play under 1.5 in here to get paid.
Yeah, definitely one of those ones. Interesting to see the UFC bring in Sakai the Indian prospect here, fall on the road to UFC, was knocked out brutally in round one. The history that we just have of fighters from that part of the world just isn't that good. To add on to that, I mean, Hassan might be one of the best prospect on this whole entire show. The current CFFC flyweight champion has defended his belt 3 times, headline cards, which flyweights usually don't do in the regional scene. And this dude's a killer. He has fire behind his hands, entertaining kick arsenal, goes to the head, body, and legs. Originally won the CFFC belt by rear naked choke. So there isn't really too much things that this guy can't do. I think this is another first round finish here in this fight. I think Bilal Hassan did whatever the MMA grades are. A plus everything for me outside of grappling. It's probably the one thing that we'll get to see in the UFC, but probably not in this fight because it won't last that long. Next fight though is Abe Alsaghir taking on Fabrizio. I'm
Now
probably
this
gonna say
one
his
is
last name.
really intriguing, man. The lightweight matchup, Abe Alashir, 8-0, taking on Fabrizio, right? Now, when you look at it, one thing that's going to stand out is going to be the height range compared to this fighters, right? And I think the reason why I like a lot of these fighters on there is because of the effing finish rate, man. Now, when you look at Abe, 8 wins, 7 finishes. Now, when you look at his opponent, 9 wins, 7 KOs. That's what you get brought here to do. Get finishes. And it's like that with a lot of these fighters, as you guys been knowing, as I've been saying. Just to give you guys some numbers on other fighters too. A lot of these fighters that I broke down on the MMA grades on there, their finish rates was at like damn near like at 80% to 100%. There was few fighters on here like literally like at a 50% finish rate or anything below than a 60%, man. Abe Alisher though, he opened up like a minus 140, man. And now he's down to like a minus 110 out here. When it comes down to it, I think he has the more MMA toolkit. Always constant, like a Tasmanian devil in there with the pressure. 4 KOs, 3 submissions, 1 decisions. Um, but his opponent, he's gonna have a little bit more complex striking. But I'll be honest with you. I looked at the opponents that he fought, Billy. They were cans, but they weren't even like name brand cans, bro. Like, you know how you go to the store, you got Pepsi cans. These was like knockoff cans. Like the level of opponents that he fought don't really compare at all. And I actually think that, I like Alishaw in there, man. I think he can jab upstairs, attack the body in here, and just don't let his opponent just step back at range and use that reach. I think it could be a back and forth fight too, as well. And I think that with him using those level changes and get the wrestling going, I think he can win by decision in there, man. What you feeling on this one?
Yeah, it should be an interesting bout as this probably is the closest match made fight of the card as there's a lot of unknowns. Abe has primarily fought in the Michigan regional scene against some just lower level opponents. I mean, I watched some of his film. I mean, every fight was some squash matchups, like not even people that you grab from the bar type shit. It's hard to really get any takeaways from it, what he excels at, but I don't think he's going to have any other choice besides but to wrestle here, as Fabricio's a Mexican striking specialist, has big power behind his hands, and his grappling has improved in his recent fights. And like most Mexican fighters, you know that their chins are going to be ready for war when fights get tricky. His only loss was a arm injury, so he's basically undefeated. I think this is going to be an entertaining scrap for as long as it lasts. I'm going to have to go with Fabricio here, though. A little bit better level of competition, a little bit more reliable chin, and I think a little bit better cardio and a little bit more power behind his hands, unless Abe has some grappling I haven't seen. I'm going to go with Fabricio here. I feel like this line's moved for a reason.
Yeah, no, you hit it on the head when you said move for a reason, because that's something I was gonna bring up. So a lot of these fights, you got two of them specifically to where those lines moved, and it could definitely be moving in the right direction. Usually on UFC, it's been going that way at a trend for the last like 2 years, right? So it could be the same thing, and usually it's like this. Once they get these odds out, I remember people asking for the odds like 2 weeks ago. I mean, 2 days ago. So once they come out, like shit, man. By the time this video come out and by the time the fights come out, you gonna see at least like 50 cent to $1 change on a lot of these fights. But yeah, like he said, this is one that's kind of like it's priced right on either side. So if you get a solid read, I think you can make some money on it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Let's get into this one though, because this is where we're here for this card. Season 10, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Witt taking on Matt Adams. Mills, you got to take this one away because I saw this dude, Matt Adams, fight in LFA, and I was like, what the fuck? And I can understand why the odds are this wide.
Yeah, man. First, I'll get it started with Anthony Witt. 6-0. Heavyweight. Now, this guy's played in the NFL before. Former linebacker as well. 5 finishes out of his 6 wins. Likes to get it done in there. But just doesn't come from football. He actually was wrestling too back in high school and college. Explosive athlete with the football background and really uses it physical as well. You could tell by the picture, right? Now, he already shown he can win through striking, win through grappling as well. Now Matt Adams, 6-2. This is a guy that pulled off an upset as an underdog and got rewarded with the Dana White Contender Series contract. Um, when I seen him, when I seen this guy fight like 2, 3 fights ago, I was like, yeah, right. But he went out there, and the way that the heavyweight division is looking right now, it's just bad from a landscape to where it's like, all right, man, you want a shot? Here you go. Now, his best weapon is going to be obviously his power, right? He has a nice little straight right that he throws, a nice little check hook. And he ain't scared to throw an uppercut. That's the thing about him, like big boys, fat boys, they swear that they could box with the best of them, right? And he does, man. He throws like actually like short combinations too, and not just single strikes. But this is one to where the saying, Billy, man, getting fed to the wolves, man. Anthony Wentz like a -800, where I seen him at -650, I want to say, or 800, one of those two. Yeah, I was looking at the lines a little bit earlier on before we were doing the tape study on this shit, and he's gonna cover that price tag, man. Yeah, he's definitely gonna cover that price tag. But I will tell you this: if he goes out there and just says, "All right, let's just stand and swing and bang," Matt Adams can throw them things, man. So like, yeah, like if you want to see some money get thrown out the window and Anthony Wint just go up there and stand and be a dummy, you know what I mean, and not move his head, that might would be happening.
Yeah, Matt Adams, undersized heavyweight, not in I mean, I would say height, not in body frame at all. I mean, has some grappling chops for the weight class, but just athletically isn't really comparable to Anthony Witt, former football player turned fighter. Has displayed power behind his hands, can get takedowns, but still kind of working on processing of his MMA game. Has been trained at Killcliff MMA, probably the best thing for his improvement. This card's built around him for a reason. I think he's going to smash Matt Adams. But
Mm-hmm.
let's go over the picks one last time for the people here. And hopefully you guys join us on the Tuesday live stream Dana White Contender Series. You'll be going live from the first fight of the nights to the end of the fights. As my pick was John Kunneman by first round submission. My second pick was Tommy Pags, second round knockout. The third pick here is going to be Bilal Hassan, first round submission. And then this pick here is going to be Fabrizio by decision. And then the main event pick for me is going to be Anthony Witt by knockout round 1. How about you, Mills?
All right, man. Good prediction. So I'm gonna give you guys the contract winners on there, man. So you got about what 5 fights, right? And I'm predicting 5 contracts. Okay. Yeah, I think we see 5 contracts for sure. And I think it's gonna be one of those nights to where we don't see any fights going to the scorecards. So yeah, that's the way we're gonna play that one.
So, which are the 5 people that you see get contracts, or that you didn't really specify that?
Oh, okay. Well, run through it again. I'll give the contract to Tommy right here, the phenom. I'm going with Bilal Hassan, obviously. We going with Abe Alexander to get the contract, man. We going with Joe Kropschot, but nah, damn, yeah, damn. See, that's the thing. This fight was made for John Kunneman. He was supposed to be on the Dana White Contender Series last year against my boy Cam Roston. So it's hard for me to my LFA tie says Kropschot, right? To win
20-second alert.
everybody. I know, I'm getting there, but I'm taking Kunneman to get the contract. I'm taking Witt to get the contract. And that's it, man.